The face of Neff. Well, not really. It's actually a mask that I ordered from Canada. So I've been on lives on Facebook. I've been live on Instagram. This is the first time I've done a live like this on YouTube, but I thought it was important to do it. So here we are. What I showed you in the very beginning of this was a mask that I ordered from Canada from a guy who had a listing that I actually ran into on Reddit. Someone had found and done a post saying that they thought they had found the mask or a mask very similar to what Mike over at Sasquatch, Ontario used to create the face of Neff photos that he posted a couple of years ago. I was very quick when he posted these to come out a couple of years ago and say, this is clearly a mask. I spent 10 seconds and lightened it up on my iPhone and said, this is clearly a mask and it's an inanimate object. And there's a piece of what looked like black material covering the mouth in one of the photographs. It was easy. I changed the contrast. You could see it immediately. So, long story short, Mike, of course, attacked me and said I was absolutely full of shit. It's not real. So when I found this mask, I actually reached out to the guy up in Canada. I think his girlfriend responded the first time I sent him a message over on Marketplace on Facebook and said, hey, we're not shipping the mask to anybody. You got to pick it up. They wanted like $4 for it. So I offered them a considerable amount of money on top of that and asked them to ship it to me, and he eventually did. If you follow me on any of my socials over on Brian King Sharp on Facebook or even on Instagram, you've seen that I'm wearing the mask in my profile photo on Facebook. So it's a real thing. Immediately, Mike came out. He did a video over on Sasquatch, Ontario here on YouTube and said, oh, people are saying that this is a mask. It's clearly created by artificial intelligence. It's not real. They've used the face of Neff to create this mask to try to discredit me. Oh, woe is me. Poor Mike. I'm so sorry, Mike. I'm going to flip this around again and show you. This is clearly real. It's not AI. It's a real mask that I purchased. And when I first got the mask, all of the face was a light color. The teeth were not this white. And it didn't have the eyeballs that I've added to it. They were integral in me being able to recreate these BS photos that Mike claimed to be the face of a Sasquatch. So all of that said, I put this out there yesterday. I actually, if you follow me, I had a medical emergency while I was up to speak at a conference up in central Pennsylvania back on the 8th, 9th of August. I had emergency surgery on the 9th of August, and I've been recovering ever since. So I'm taking some of that recovery time to set up this photo shoot that I did last night. And if you follow me over on Facebook at Brian King Sharp, I posted it over there. I posted it in the Bigfoot Encounters and Field Research group on Facebook. A little over 13,000 members over there. So if you're not a part of that, we'd love to have you. So I've clearly proven at this point, the mask is 100% match. If you compare the photos, and I'll try to post them here in the comments so you guys can see the comparison after this video, is 100% match. Hands down, no doubt. The photos look a little different, obviously, because I don't know what they used to photograph it. I don't know how far away they were. I don't know the lighting situation that they used. So I did the best I could with what I had to guess what they did to create the photos. And even doing that, in just a couple of minutes, it was clear to me it was a spot-on match to what he is claiming to be a real live creature. It's clearly a Halloween mask. So I am challenging everybody who's watching this. Share it far and wide. Like, comment, subscribe. Share it with everybody in this community who cares about this subject, because this is what pisses me off. Mike has over close to 80,000 subscribers here on his YouTube channel. And those people buy everything that he and Dwayne say, hook, line, and sinker, when it comes to everything they've created, this narrative that they've created about Nefertia speaking, Neff and his family taking selfies from a camera inside Mike's house. It's some of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard and seen in my life. These people are buying it hook, line, and sinker. And as a community, I think it's important for us to take matters into our own hands and disprove when we can. And I've clearly done that. I haven't disproved the audio outside of the fact that, oh, by the way, Dwayne admitted to the hoax. He has admitted to being the voice of Neff multiple times. Multiple times. There's an entire channel here on YouTube that proves that. It's his own voice claiming and proving that he's the voice of Neff. But now he's saying that his confession to the hoax was created because his family was being threatened. So the confession to the hoax is not real, but everything else they're saying is real. So if you believe that, more power to you. Sorry that you believe that. So I'm challenging everybody. I have brought down the house of cards when it comes to their BS. When you have this situation and people are creating these hoaxes, it's a house of cards. And if you're able to disprove one piece of the puzzle, i.e. one card, the rest of the house falls. And that's exactly what's happened here. So if you can't look objectively at what I've created as far as these recreation photos, and I've only posted 2, I have multiple photos. I've taken them from different angles. I've taken them during the day. I have all of this documented. But if you can't look at the 2 photos that I have produced of this mask that I've altered to be exactly what they used in these photos, if you can't objectively look at that on your own and say that's 100% match, there's probably no helping you. But for the majority of you, I would imagine 95% of you who are watching this anywhere that I've posted this, you're going to say, yeah, it's clear. I need you to share it. I need you to share this with everybody and anybody who will listen in this community, that this guy is fooling everybody who believes him. Everybody who buys into this BS narrative that he's created. This one piece of the puzzle is wrong. He's presented to you and I and everybody in this community that he and or Dwayne photographed the face of Nefertia, i.e. the face of Sasquatch. And he expects you to believe it. But I have proven. I spent my own money. I bought this mask. I've altered the mask. I had it shipped from Canada. I've probably got $200-300 into this project at this point, just to prove this point, because I am that passionate about this subject. I am that passionate about people who have had real encounters, real experiences that are seeking real answers, just like me. That's why I do what I do. This is my full-time job. Sure, this is how I make a living. My show, Sasquatch Odyssey, is how I make a living, and the other podcasts that I host each week. But I am serious about the subject. I am serious about seeking answers to my own experiences. I've seen these creatures 3 times last summer. So I'm 100% convinced that they're real. But I'm also equally convinced that the bullshit that he's putting out there is not real. And there is a difference. And it's up to us as this community. It's up to us who believe in this subject to spread it far and wide that he's a charlatan. Nothing he says about any of this experience is real. It's all been fabricated. It's all been created for entertainment purposes. And people say, why? Why would he do that? I think it has a lot to do with ego, and it also has to do with money. When you have 80,000 plus subscribers or close to that on your YouTube channel, and your videos are getting 100,000 plus video views each one, you're making money. Hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per month from hoaxing people. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I'm asking you, if you're watching this now live, if you're watching it after the fact, if you see this a year from now, share this video. And here's the other challenge before I get out of here. I've done this on every platform. I've done it privately to Mike, and I'm doing it publicly right here on YouTube for everybody to see. I've given him an open invitation to come on my show, Sasquatch Odyssey, and defend his evidence. Defend what he's put out there to be real, and have a conversation about it. I have no problems doing that. I'll defend anything that I've created with this mask, any of the photos, anything I've put out there publicly or privately about it. Any of the evidence that I presented, my experiences, my encounters, what I saw, the footprints that I've cast, the tree breaks that I've documented, any of that, I'll have a conversation about it. If you're not willing to do that, and I can tell you now, Mike is not. He's told me publicly and privately, he didn't have any time to talk to people like me who believe he's a hoaxer or call him a hoaxer or challenge him. That's a big red flag for me, Mike. What say you? The rest of the community. Is that a red flag for you? If I put out pictures that were that close up and claimed that Bigfoot was hanging out behind the fence at my house, I would defend that. I would be willing to tell anybody, yeah, that's what happened. This is how it happened. This is how I photographed it. This is what I used. This is why it's real. Mike's not going to do that. But the challenge is there, my friend. The challenge is there. Mike, Dwayne, both of you together, separately. If you want to come on the show, you want to come on Sasquatch Odyssey, we'll do it live. I have no qualms about turning you loose live, letting everybody who wants to watch it. Let's have a conversation about it. Defend your evidence. Tell me how my photographs are different from yours. Mine's clearly a mask. I've made no qualms about that. That's 100% identical. Some of you out there have the skills. I guarantee you somebody's watching this right now that has the skills to take those two side-by-side photographs and compare them. You can lighten it. You can change the contrast. You can map out the forehead. You can map out the brow ridge. You can map out the teeth, the eyes, the nose, everything, and prove that it's 100% match. What do you believe to be the truth? Do you believe me? Do you believe Mike? I am 100% convinced that I have been able to bring down the house of cards and show that he is nothing but a hoaxer. But it's up to you to believe that. And if you believe it, share this. Comment, like, subscribe, and share it with as many people in this community as you possibly can, because that's what we have to do. We have to be the ones to take matters into our own hands and say enough is enough. There are real people who have real experiences and real encounters and have real evidence that is overshadowed by people like you, Mike, Dwayne, people like you who are perpetrating known hoaxes and absolute bullshit to this community. And you have 80,000 people eating out of your hand. Everything you post is wonderful and great and fabulous. And it's all bullshit because you brainwashed them. We as a community have to take back our community. We have to take this subject back. We have to take back the evidence. We have to take back every part of this that we can, or it's never going to change. It's never going to change. And we're responsible for that as the community. So I'm going to keep doing my part. I'm not going to try to debunk every hoax. I don't have time for that. I don't have the ability to do that. I don't have expertise in taking photos and doing photo shoots and editing. I don't have expertise in that. It was not that difficult for me to do this. It wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. And you'll notice I've made no qualms about it. The photos aren't exact. There's some white that shows up in the ears, and they're photographs that I didn't recreate that because I didn't want to alter the mask any more than I already had. But you don't need to do that. I didn't need to do that because if you look at this objectively, anybody can see it's exactly the same. And if you can't see that, there's no helping you. You've got to be a part of some of these groups on Facebook that don't allow you to challenge anybody's evidence. I mentioned it earlier, and I'm going to say it again here. The Bigfoot Encounters and Field Research group on Facebook is my group. There's a little over 13,000 members in the group at this point. If you post something like these photos in that group, you're going to be challenged. People are going to ask you questions because there are people in that group that think critically. I have no problems being challenged about anything I've ever put forward in this subject. And I think that's a green flag. It should be a green flag for anybody. But if you don't want to have a conversation with someone who challenges you or disagrees with you, huge red flag. So, if you guys have any really quick questions, put them in the comments right quick. There's some people watching live. Griff says, if you're faking stuff to get views and likes, you should be made to say it's been faked for entertainment purposes. Don't call it the truth if it's not. Griff, you are absolutely right. This has happened to me on the show. I narrate stories on Sasquatch Odyssey. I had a longtime listener who's been listening since February of 2021 when I started the podcast say to me, some of the stories sound like they've been written. I don't think some of the encounter stories are real, are they? I was very honest, and I've been honest about it on the show. I rewrite everything that I ever narrate on the show to make it more palatable and for me to be able to narrate it on the podcast. Do I change the facts? No. Do I change the experiences? No. Do I fill in gaps and make it more articulate to be entertaining on the podcast? Absolutely. But I have stated that publicly multiple times. And I had to do that. I did that in the opening of the show after she sent this email. And I said to her directly by name, this is right. And if anybody tells you in this Bigfoot community that they run a channel and they narrate stories that they don't rewrite, they're lying to you. Because everybody has to rewrite the stories to make them sound entertaining and to make them flow. It's not changing the facts. It's not creating anything whole cloth. It's simply making it so that we can do our job, which is bring you entertaining content that you want to listen to. And if anybody tells you they're not doing that, I would argue that they're probably telling you a falsehood. They're probably lying to you. So if I'm willing to do that, I'm certainly going to be willing to have a conversation about footprint casts that I've presented, that I've cast on our property, experiences that I've had, tree breaks that I've found, encounters that I've had where I've seen these creatures. I expect to be challenged about that. You should be. But Mike doesn't want to have that conversation. And I think that's a huge red flag. So if you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me via email. My email is Brian, BRIAN, at paranormalworldproductions.com. If you have any questions, if you want to see any more of the photos, any of the things that I've talked about or documented, feel free to reach out to me. We'll talk a little bit about this, I'm sure, at some point on Sasquatch Odyssey. And Mike, if you're listening, grow up here, dude. Come on the show. Have the conversation. Defend what you claim to be real. I've never heard you do an interview with anybody who's ever challenged you. It's always, whoa, that's great, Mike. Everything you say is true, Mike. Let's have a conversation that's not like that. I've got some tough questions for you. I'd love to know what the real truth is. If you're willing to have that conversation, you can email me. You can send me a message. You know my messenger. You sent me some horrible personal attacks through Facebook Messenger in the past. Just reach out. Unblock me. He's got me blocked on social media. So, any last minute questions here? Hey, Nona Boss, it's good to see you in watching live. Thank you so much. Nona says we need more critical thinking in the community. Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, it goes back to my challenge. Griff says, which Mike is this? Mike Patterson from Sasquatch, Ontario. That's who I'm talking about, Griff. See, I'm calling him out by name. Anybody have any last minute questions before we get out of here? Griff said the liars and fakers are chasing truth seekers of truth away. Absolutely. If you can't ask the questions, then there's a problem. You are definitely correct, Nona. Again, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching this. Share it, share it, share it across every channel you possibly can and every place you possibly can. Let people know that at least this part of the House of Cards has been brought down. It is 100% a mask. It's not a real face of a Sasquatch. End of story. And if that part's not true, if he lied about that and continues to lie about it and double down on it and just tell the rest of us, people like me and you who question him, that we're just not as enlightened as he is. We just don't understand because he has the true answers and we're just not smart enough to figure it out. What does that sound like? Does that sound like Jim Jones? Does it sound like David Koresh? Does it sound like any other cult leader you've ever heard? Kind of does to me. So I challenge you all, share this far and wide, stop the bullshit, stop the hoaxing. Let's get to the real answers the right way, and let's do it as a community. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys so much for sharing this. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel, share it far and wide, and let people know this community is tired of hoaxers. We are tired of people taking advantage of people's gullibility, and we are seeking real answers from real people, doing real research, boots on the ground, and providing us with real documented evidence. Thank you guys so much, and take care.